Let's talk about sketchbooking. I'm so excited I finally get to start this. This is my sketchbook series I've been working on since like 2014 at UC San Diego Department of Communication, where I started getting into the epistemology of sketchbooking. So if you know me, you know that since I think it was middle school, I first started using a sketchbook, and this was I think ninth grade. And I'm picking this one to show you because it's green, and I'm talking about green today. So my old sketchbooks were just like most people have journals, or I think they call them junk journaling now, or scrapbooking. But mine were kind of all of the above. Sketching, but also drawing and putting things into it, and sometimes journaling. And I had to develop over the years something I'm sharing with you all, and this is going to go on my Patreon. This is what the Patreon is going to be all about. That and a sticker club. Go there for a sticker club. I will totally send you stickers every month for $5. But for free, we're going to talk about this, and this is sketchbooking. So green. Today we're talking about green, and that's because I just had a wonderful conversation with my friend Melanie. Green, we were talking about family and friendships and relationships, and she's going through a big transition right now, like me. Most people I know are, especially in this time of our life. A lot of people are going through big transitions, and you need support during transitions, and not everyone has family. Most people don't have family the way it is mythologized. In other words, for me, everyone has chosen family because I have no contact with my blood relatives just because of the parental situation. The rest of them, they're fine. I just have no relationship with them. Sorry guys, love you. Some of you I wouldn't even recognize on the street. You can say hi if you want. Hey to the Reyeses and the Harps out there of the world. But my family is all chosen. But so is yours. Just because you are blood relatives or in-laws with someone doesn't make them actual family. You have to choose them and they choose you. You co-worship, you go to each other for relief. That's another way I define family. But how do you understand yourself and your genealogy and your family history if you don't know them? What about orphans? What about people? I'm an orphan now, but what about people who were adopted? There's all of these feelings, natural urges we have to understand where we come from. And so the green section of my sketchbook, I put things into sections according to colors so that I don't have to make a decision if I am stuck in a situation like I'm waiting for the doctor, and this is back when I had like meetings in the university setting, or my friend Melanie is going into a new semester of schooling. You don't have the option to stim or handle or do whatever you need to do in those spaces. You have very limited options. And so what I say is you put together a situation. It can be a sketchbook, a journal, your notebook, something that you're allowed to have in that space. And then you remake it for your needs. And for me, I have to have things in sections in different colors so that if I have this feeling like I have right now talking to Melanie about family and about belonging, we were both talking about the phrase best friends, which is how some of us, I always was obsessed with the idea of having a best friend because I didn't have siblings and I had a really terrible situation. And so I was like, I want someone who, when you walk into the room, you know that they are hoping you came into that room to sit next to them. That they will always have a seat open, hoping that you'll sit next to them. That's family for me. And so having a best friend felt like that would happen. And for quite a few years there, she was my best friend openly, and we acknowledged that, and we could count on that from each other. Between like 98 and 2000, and a little bit into 2001, we saw each other again. Another moment of the amnesia that hit her was that after high school, I saw her, but I forgot that I had seen her. By the time I saw her a few months ago, we caught up again, and I was able to ask her about my times that maybe I'd forgotten about. I wasn't sure what was going on. She said like, oh yeah, remember we hung out at this time? And I was like, I saw you? Oh my God. So what would also happen is that if someone was near trauma, in and around it, and we were close during my high school years, if I then saw them again, especially if it was like, oh, we just see each other once, go out to lunch or something, the amnesia would recycle. And in that interaction, I would re-amnesia everything that happened and made it worse. And then after that, I would actually forget that instance. So that last summer when I was remembering things for the first time, so many things, it was really scary, realizing how much I had intentionally forgotten, and that I had forgotten that I'd seen people even a few years before. I had it in my phone. I'd go and be like, okay, I gotta contact this person. I didn't even know I had their phone number. I didn't know that I had seen them. I had lunch with them or something. This happened quite a few times. So Melanie's been helping me. Melanie's been helping me go through stuff, and we're working together. Me, Katie Larson, and I are working on this, a few of my friends, on this sketchbook, this idea. And in green is where I go to talk about family, genealogy, where you come from, especially just physically. So if you have no contact with family, if you are adopted, etc., the relationship you have with family as the physical connection of knowing where do you get your information on like family illnesses and stuff like that, it can be quite vexed. So green, I now know that I go to the green section. And when I publish this for you guys, it'll have like my green stickers will come with it, and you can put green wherever you want. It doesn't have to be in the order that I have. I have a very specific order of colors, and it comes from the tradition of chakras, but I do my own version. I have my own little bespoke religion, cult of one, you're not invited. But you only use green. You use green like tape to, like, if I went to see Melanie today and we went to lunch, I would save that receipt and I would put it, and I would use the green tape and I'd write a little note or something on it, or I'd put a green sticker next to it. And that's it. I don't need a journal. I don't need to do anything. That's enough. That I put it in here, and I don't have the energy to sit down and write about my feelings or whatever. We talked for 2 hours and it was amazing. But when you're like me and you collect little things from your life and you collect artifacts, I'm a natural anthropologist and historian, it makes me feel grounded to life and like I have a history and I exist if I can keep them and put them in places. So green is about it's about your genealogy, your history. It's about growth, evolution. We come from the earth. We are all of the earth. So fucking ground yourself. And oh my God, I have little sayings like land back, right? So it's about being native for me too. It's about knowing where you come from. Ancestor worship, that's where all this comes from. My little bespoke religion comes out of the Garden of Eden. It comes out of the idea that our original religion was ancestor worship. It's just who were the grandparents and parents and cousins of our age, of our elders and of our life, that to us are gods. Who did we worship growing up, and who became legendary? Sometimes you have once in a generation or once in several generations, you'll have a personality that is so incredible that the whole family is like, oh my God, that one. And in the family ancestor altar that you have, every home has like a little place where you go and you worship. And for many people, it's just their family portraits, right? And it's forced and it's faked and it's, see, we do it, but I need it to be real. And so when I have photos of people up, my entire wall, this one back here is ancestor worship to my drag moms, like Mariah. But on the other side of the office break room here, I have all of you. I have my family. I have people, specifically there's a lot of pictures of group shots, but like specific people who I call my chosen family, who I go to for relief, and they come to me for relief, and we co-worship. And on my family altar, I go there for solace, for grounding every day, and for remembering what matters. That anything can be going on in your life, that I get a call from Melanie, and now that we're back in touch and we're back on intimate relationship standing, we always could have been there. I just hadn't reconnected and we hadn't rekindled it, and it does take a couple hits, I think. She and I can always come back right away, but even so, just updating each other on your lives, of saying like, this is where I'm at, so that today she could call me and I'll pick up and I don't have to go, oh, do I have the energy for this? No, it's Melanie. She's a 0% person. It's another way of saying family. Family to me is 0%, meaning you can have no energy whatsoever, you can be at your absolute worst, and it doesn't take emotional bandwidth for you to take that call. They're going to give you that. They're going to help you with that. But even if you have family, sometimes you're not in a place to be there with them yet, and so you have to cultivate it. And for me, it's really important to be seeing them or talking to them physically sort of over time, at least once every couple weeks or something, for me to feel that way. Even if we are genuine family, you need that intimacy to experience the family. So this section is for that, for me. I do have here the genealogy, like the family, like the blood genealogy. And it was really hard for me to look at pictures of my parents for years and years. Once I went no contact with my dad in 1998, and then my mom in 2018, 20 years later. Oh, I had to, delete all their photos, anything that I had online, anything in life. I keep tons of photos. I'm a little collector. I'm a little hermit crab. I had to put them away. Couldn't look at them. And that can cause problems. It might be necessary for safety, but you need your true family, people who do love you and protect you. If you feel protected by someone, they can exorcise demons for you. So I placed photos of, these are blood relatives and family. Blood relatives I've never met. I've never met 3 out of 4 of my grandparents I've never met, and 1 I only met a handful of times. So on my father's side, it's grandfather and grandmother, and it's, should I put it up here really close for you to see? I'll try to put it up on the screen, I think. But there's this photo of my grandmother, and I never met her. She died, I think, back in like the 70s or something. And I had this huge block about looking at myself. This wall of self-portraits and pictures of me and of my drag moms is there for me to be okay with looking at myself. Because even though the world and everyone told me, you're so pretty, you're so beautiful, you're gorgeous, you're a model, you look like Linda Evangelista. That's a Drag Race quote, by the way. I only saw, I could see my parents' DNA through my face, and I found it ugly. I found it hideous. So it was a big leap, a big movement for me to be able to put these photos in here and see myself. And it was last summer at the beginning, it was what made me go, I need to read those letters, I need to look at my journals, I need to look at the past now. That time period. Who am I? Who am I really? Who am I really? Who am I for real? And it was looking at that photo of my grandmother, because for the first time in my entire life, I could look at her face and see me and not only be okay with it, but like it, love it, be like, oh, right. Because I was happy about being Native. I was like, yeah, fuck ice. I was in that. I was feeling very Native last summer. And so seeing her as this, it looks like a very simple indigenous girl. She's bathing one of my uncles in a little bucket. And this is probably back out behind the house. They probably don't have, I think, running water. It's somewhere out here in Southern California. I actually only learned her name. Apparently I had access to her name. And people would do 23andMe and stuff. I think my in-laws did that, but I couldn't look at my father's side, or barely at my mom's, because it was so triggering. So technically I had access to her name, and even the names of my other uncles, and I had them even written down in notes, but I couldn't think of them. In my mind last summer, if you asked me, I'd say I didn't know their names. Because I didn't, not consciously. And so looking at her face, learning her name was Abdulia, I think, and seeing myself in her, seeing the DNA, the strand, the genealogy, feeling Native, feeling indigenous, but feeling like I'm allowed to have DNA roots through people that are horrible, but that go to other places, and those are not horrible, and that's okay. And I really felt so beautiful suddenly, because she looked beautiful, and I was able to see myself that way. So I put this little section together with places in my life that I thought I had to move away from forever, that I can go back to now. So I've got stuff, did some research in Kenya, did a lot of sketchbooking there. That's where this concept came from, of drawing for time travel, actually. What does this say? I'm trying my best. I wrote this the other day, and I wrote it in green because I was like, when I go to this section, and I know it's something for the green section, which is trying, which is pruning means growth. Pruning is important. When we pick at ourselves, by the way, I stopped picking at myself. I stopped doing anything. If I find myself doing any kind of, I realize it's a kind of self-harm. It's a way of going, I can't fix things, so I'm going to fix things. I can't fix things, so I'm going to fix things. Stop doing that. Stopped pruning when it's not necessary. So I'm trying my best. I am trying. That's all life is just trying. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, and then you die. And that's not a bad thing. That's a great thing. It's a wonderful thing. And there is no true death. We live forever, you know. So green, that's what the green section is. And the important thing I want to tell you about, to take from me, that we're going to work more in the Patreon about, is this, that you need to reduce as many decisions you need to make as possible. So you don't have to decide what pen to use. You don't have to decide what you're going to do. All you know is that it's the green section because you're talking about growth or family or whatever. And in that section, somewhere in it, you don't have to decide what part of the sketchbook you use. You just use this section. And then in there, you're going to pick one of these because it's a green. Or you're going to pick a sticker or the tape or whatever, and you're going to put it in there. And then you don't even have to decide what you're going to write because you're just going to put something in there that did a thing. You did a thing. And that's the bubble wrap of it all, okay? That's real. It's very, very real. You need the bubble wrap. You need the dopamine. So just writing a little like, I'm trying my best, or putting a sticker in, or masking tape, washi tape, a little artifact, a receipt. I'm huge with photos. I'm big with print photos. I printed all these out years ago, but these are of my friend Katie, who I saw recently, and Jenny and I think my 12th birthday in Minju. And Katie made me this incredible, I need to do a Katie appreciation post, but isn't this incredible? So she wove this. I gave her some yarn that was left over that I couldn't use that was really nice quality, and I sent it to her even though I hadn't talked to her, especially intimately, in decades. And she saved it and wove this for me, and I almost cried when she gave it to me because, my God, the amount of effort. But that's family, and that's the green section, is that growth happens in different ways. Growth sometimes requires pruning. Sometimes you got to prune people out of your life, or sometimes you have to like take a plot of land, part of your mental situation, and say, we're not going to work on that right now. We're going to let that rest. So I've had to take breaks. I had to take a break from reincarnation, karma, chakras, and all that. Anything woo-woo, I had to take a break. And now I'm back to being in a place where I can sow seeds in that part of the farm, and it's okay. It's not going to come out toxic. So talking to Melanie today helped me with that. And so we were talking about the sketchbook, and that this is what's going to happen from now on. I'm going to be talking about this more, and this is going to go on my Patreon in a section on green. And I want you all to tell me how you do this. How do you think about growing and your genealogy and history? Because a history implies a single narrative. A history implies an origin and an end. It's a little path. But reality is multitudes of paths going in all ways, forward and backwards in time. We were talking about reincarnation, as I had to come around to it to say, okay, maybe I can be okay with reincarnation being a part of my personal philosophy. If I think about it in terms of it being time travel that I can remember, because time travel makes sense. Reincarnation does not. If that makes no sense to you, then watch my channel more and we'll explain it. So there you go. This is my first intro into sketchbooking and the green section, which is why I'm wearing this shirt. My very first best friend, Ben Froglage. I'm gonna put some pictures up here, I think, for you guys. He and I watched Ninja Turtles together. It was one of my first memories of playing with another kid and using imagination to be like, I'm this and you're that. And I always got stuck being April. And I never understood. I'm like, why do you guys always want me to be April? And the Ninja Turtles, if you know, it's a bunch of mutant teenage Ninja Turtles who hang out with a rat and they do karate. And they're ninjas and they like pizza for some reason. And but there's one girl in the characters, and her name was April. And I always had to be that. I'm like, why? What? Because I did not feel like I had any gender. And it hit me later. I'm like, oh, you think I'm a girl? Okay. So, green. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying my best. So, enjoy that. I love you all. Get a sketchbook, get a journal, and start working with me on this. And it will be great.